Hello, this is Michelle Donahoe with the DeKalb County History Center. I'm here today to provide you with a few tips about how to take care of your family treasures. Today is going to be an overview and provide just some details about the do's and don'ts of preserving paper documents that might be part of your personal collection. So first of all, for anything that you have in your personal collection here that you are concerned about taking care of, remember that if you're comfortable, those materials are comfortable. That means that you probably don't want to store these items in your attic or your basement. It also means that you want to keep them away from light, humidity, pests. Again, anything, if you're not comfortable with, you don't want to be hanging out in the attic in the summer or in a damp basement in the winter, your artifacts, photos, and family treasures aren't either. So now we're going to go take a closer look at some different items from our archival collection. So now we're in the collection storage area, and I'm going to show you here some of the do's when taking care of those family treasures. This is an old abstract, and you can see that there is some old Scotch tape here, and if you look really close, you can see it's very hard to read some of the text that's underneath the Scotch tape. So we don't want you to use Scotch tape. Anything that you do, you want to make sure it's reversible. This also has a staple up here at the top. You want to take those out, and any paper clips or anything with metal, because that is just going to rust and increase the deterioration of anything that it is touching. Next, you want to make sure that anything is stored flat. So here, this letter doesn't look too bad, but if you look at the back side of it, all the spots here where this piece of paper was folded are weakened. So to keep this whole document strong, we're going to have it laid flat, and here it's in a plastic sleeve. So if you want to look at the original, you're not going to damage it in case your fingers are dirty. And even better is to make a Xerox copy. This is designed to last much longer because most paper today is acid-free. Real simple, use a pencil. Everything you do, you want to make sure it's reversible. Now sometimes with photos, and we'll get into this a little bit later, it's harder, but there are still ways to use ink that can be reversed once it is written. But label as much as you can, first and last names, and a date when possible. If you have newspapers, again, that material is designed to be thrown out, so make a copy of it onto acid-free paper and store those originals, if you still want to keep them, separate from the other documents in your collection. You need to make sure that your materials are stored in acid-free boxes and folders. And you want to make sure your materials fit inside the right size folder. So if it's going to be legal size, make sure it's in a legal size folder, or if it's smaller size, put it in here. You definitely don't want things to be sticking out because that's going to damage the edges. Most of those supplies are available at any office supply section in a store. These, however, the acid-free boxes, usually have to be ordered through an archival company. But again, if these are important to you, it's worth the expense of making sure that they are stored properly. Another option is certainly to be able to put these acid-free files into a metal cabinet. Wood is not recommended as a place to store materials. Now on to the don'ts. Don't laminate your materials. Here is a piece that is laminated. It's not reversible. This is made with heat, which can also damage your items, as well as a residue that is on the plastic that will also cause damage over time to your original. If you want to make a color copy and laminate it, that's perfectly fine. The alternative is to get a large plastic sleeve and encapsulate it here. Again, it's still protected, but it can come out, and no heat or adhesives are used. And unfortunately, most of your general office supplies are not recommended. Don't use metal paper clips. Don't use rubber bands. and don't use staples. These will all increase the speed and deterioration of those family heirlooms. So finally, to summarize, if you want to preserve your family heirlooms, if they're comfortable, you're comfortable. Keep them in part of the home where most of the activity takes place, not in the attic, not in the basement. No light, no humidity, no pests. Make sure that whatever you do is reversible, and then you're off to a great start.